Joined inside with Brian Gilman from Warriors in Quiet Waters. Brian, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure talking to you. My goodness, one of my first stories I think I did as a reporter was with Warriors in Quiet Waters. Yeah. And it's just such a great program that you have. You give so much to our community and the greater veteran community as well. Tell us, for anybody at home that maybe is unaware of Warriors in Quiet Waters and the great work that you do, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, sure. Warriors in Quiet Waters is a 501c3 Veterans Impact Organization. We're 18 years old, founded here in Bozeman in 2007. And we empower post 9/11 combat veterans to thrive and live purpose-driven lives. We hold a very strong conviction that when veterans thrive and return home to their families, their communities, they make America stronger. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're all about. We do it through a 9-month-long nature-based program called Built for More.
And I mean, tell us a little bit about that transition from the military to civilian life. I mean, that's a big hurdle for a lot of veterans out there, and you're right there to offer that hand of assistance.
It is, and I never try to generalize across all veterans, but what we do know is that when post 9/11 combat veterans came home, they came home with many of them came home with wounds. Mm-hmm. Every single one of them dealt with an incredible sense of loss when they left the military. Mm-hmm. A loss of identity, a loss of purpose, and a loss of this community that they had, this tribe that they had in the military. And those are three of the pillars that we work strongly on in the Built for More to empower combat veterans to rebuild once again so they can continue to serve and lead again once they're out of the military.
And tell us a little bit about some of the programs that you do. We've been showcasing, some of the archery and fly fishing, of course, is a huge portion of it. But tell us a little bit more about how those activities can really impact a veteran and their families long term.
All those activities are anchored under our Built for More program. We call them different tracks. So we got a fly fishing track, a photography track, and an archery hunting track. And those nature-based experiences, our goal is to create a peak experience in nature for those veterans with the goal of putting them in the right psychological and emotional place for them to be ready to take on the hard change that we're asking them to consider as they go through the program, personal growth. That's what the nature-based activities do for us. They help make veterans more creative, better problem solvers, increase their positive affect, increase their hopefulness, and open up their parameters in terms of what's possible after the military.
I mean, it's truly a ripple effect that you have on so many people's lives. Tell us a little bit about people at home, if they'd like to give. It's the season of giving, so if there's a way to help you and your organization and these veterans out. I know that you're currently going through some fundraising right now, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, as I said, we're wrapping up the year strong, but the facts are this: in 2024, Americans donated $592 billion in philanthropy to philanthropic causes. Wow. Less than 1% of that went to veterans causes. So it's an underinvested need area, and we're just asking folks to help bring that up just a little bit. 2.4 million Americans deployed 5.2 million times in the post 9/11 era. So the need is great. Tragically, the veteran suicide rate is 1.5 times that of the general population. We have an opportunity to get ahead of that, and I think it's an incredibly worthy cause to invest in, and we can use every bit of help we can get. Not just financial donations, but volunteerism in our program is a huge thing. Lots of ways to volunteer and help, and you're gonna get a lot out of doing that as well. So if you're interested in helping us out, we'd love to see you as a volunteer in the program.
Absolutely. I highly recommend anybody look up Warriors in Quiet Waters. They truly do great work. And Mr. Gilman, we could have you on for another hour and talk about all the work that you do and stories that I'm sure you have plenty of. But we got to take a break. Matt has a lot of forecasting to get to, but we can't thank you enough for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to that break. When we come back, Matt's going to have a look at that forecast.